Hi, my name is Anna Delarosa. I am a first grade bilingual teacher here at Remensi Elementary School. I've been an educator for 4 years, and I am interested in joining the CIA Cadre because I feel that it's going to help me become a better educator. I am also interested in promoting student achievement, and I want to help my students grow and learn from their experiences and be able to connect their lessons to the real world. Part of the district training for the beginning of the school year was a training that we got by Dr. Wertz that talked about the active learning cycle, which talks about inspiring, committing, acquiring, applying, and demonstrating learning. And this learning cycle really helped me plan my lessons and become a better teacher. The plan that I submitted was about main idea and details. Those were the objectives of the lesson. It was also part of the investigation process or the research and incorporating technology to our everyday lessons. Our learning cycle began a few weeks ago, and we started with main idea and details. We created an anchor chart. We discussed what main idea is. We also talked about the details and how it helps main idea, it helps support main idea. I created some illustrations for my students to help them understand better what it was like, and I made a connection to their everyday life, to something that they can connect to in order for them to understand that details are little informations or part of informations of what the main idea is. The following day or the next few days, we talked about what it was like to do a research paper, what research meant, and how we can find information through questioning. For example, where you can look for information. We talked about the different sources of information. We also talked about how and what we were going to research on based upon the animals. Our research was supposed to be about farm animals, and each of my students had a different farm animal that they were supposed to research. After we talked about research, we then applied our research, and we began to go to our school library. We found books about our animals. And then we went to the computer lab and we tried to find different articles about farm animals. We printed them out and we began to search for information. The next part of the learning cycle is to acquire information or acquire knowledge. We did that based on how we can find important information about our animal. We talked about how we can find important information or details according to what they've been reading in either the article or their books. We also discussed how vocabulary words help us understand information, and we acquire more knowledge. And finally, we talked about text features and how the structure of the text helps us understand more about main idea and details. After we did that and we acquired, we also applied our information. We gather information, and then we ended up categorizing them in 4 different sub ideas. So our main idea was about, let's say, a farm animal. It's about horses. We organized our information based on their habitat, their physical characteristics, their newborns, and how they eat. After we did that, we then began a writing process, and we talked about, we created a diagram, we created the subtitle for our pages, and then we created the body of the paragraphs. We did that for every single category of our information here. The final product was to create a book one displayed here. And the main idea was about pigs. And then each student had their table of contents. They also wrote about the habitat of their animal. They created a diagram. Some of them were able to do specific characteristics about their animal. They included pictures, and they have more pictures, and they're gonna create a subtitle. We were finally able to apply our lesson to our real world by going on a field trip to the farm. We talked to the farmers, we learned more about our farm animals and how they impact our everyday life. And the final step of the active learning cycle was to demonstrate, and we were able to demonstrate what we learned by reading our books to the rest of the class, and we share what we learned together. I believe that a classroom that has high rigor thinking or critical thinking, you hear a lot of conversations from the students. You hear them talking amongst each other and learning amongst each other. And I believe that's the most important part of the learning cycle, not only for them to be able to apply their knowledge, but to be able to share it with their partners. And that's it.